Our top focus. Since the war in Ukraine started almost 4 years ago, the West has repeatedly accused China of helping Russia's war efforts. In fact, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky has even claimed the capture of Chinese soldiers fighting for Russia. The US has also accused China of providing very substantial support to Moscow's war machine, and yet all along, China has vehemently denied these allegations. It insists it does not supply lethal weapons to any party in the conflict. But today, a new report appears to blow the lid off those claims. An exclusive investigation by Reuters revealing Chinese drone experts have been working inside Russia at a state-owned weapons manufacturer that is under Western sanctions. This, according to 2 European security officials and documents reviewed by the news agency. These Chinese specialists have reportedly flown to Russia repeatedly. They have visited the state-owned arms maker under Western sanctions, not once or twice, but over half a dozen times since the second quarter of last year. And during that same period, by the way, Kupol reportedly received shipments of Chinese-made attack and surveillance drones. And according to the report, the shipments were routed through a Russian intermediary. The evidence includes business invoices and bank statements. And they show that Kupol received more than a dozen one-way attack drones from the Chinese drone maker. The supplier basically was a Russian defense procurement company. That company is already under US and European Union sanctions. In September last year, it was reported that Kupol had developed a new drone. It was built in China with help from local specialists. Now, there seems to be more evidence to support that finding. Specific details mentioning extensive involvement of the Chinese experts in tests and technological work on military drones inside Russia. And by now, we all know how drones are playing a decisive role in Russia's war efforts in Ukraine. According to Reuters, the Chinese Foreign Ministry says it knows nothing about this. In fact, in a statement, it said, and I'm quoting here, China has always maintained an objective and fair position on the question of the Ukraine crisis, never providing lethal weapons to any party, and strictly controlling dual-use items, including drone exports, quote unquote. But the Kremlin, the Russian Defense Ministry and Kupol are yet to respond on this. Remember, the United States and Europe have repeatedly warned about Chinese companies supplying Russia, and some of those firms are already under the sanctions imposed by the West at the start of the Ukraine war. And yet, the flow continues. In July, Kupol had reportedly started mass producing thousands of drones with Chinese parts, engines included. The drone is modeled on Iran's Shahid drone. It can fly hundreds of miles, lock onto a pre-programmed target, and then dive down to explode on impact. Ukraine saying Russia uses about 500 of them every month. And officials believe the Chinese shipments and visits could point to new projects, perhaps even new drone models. The report also citing a letter from the sanctioned Russian arms maker to the Chinese drone maker, showing that in the second quarter of 2024, the procurement company billed the weapons manufacturer for more than half a dozen drones produced by the Chinese company. There is also a corporate document from the Chinese maker that confirms deliveries of A140 and A900 one-way attack drones and scheduled deliveries of other models. What's more, the Russian company's own reports also describe flight tests of these drones at Russia's military test site. And Chinese experts were reportedly, they visited this facility, assembling the drones, training Kupol's staff, joining test flights. Travel records showing, reportedly, they flew out of the region immediately after. Officially, they were described as employees of TSK Vector. But European officials cited in the report saying that they were Chinese technicians. By mid-2025, the Chinese company had billed Vector more than 5 million yuan. That's about 700,000 US dollars for A200 drones fitted with anti-jamming equipment and other supplies. Kupol's Chinese connections do not stop there. Another test report describing a different drone. This one made by Chinese firm Honan Hao Tianyi. In fact, it's a vertical takeoff and landing drone capable of surveillance, reconnaissance, and strike missions. The picture seems to be clear. Chinese expertise, not just influencing, it seems, but directly embedded in Russia's sanctioned drone industry. And at a time when drones are at the very heart of the war in Ukraine, the West may keep warning. China may keep denying. But the documents and the visits revealed in this report telling a different story. One that suggests China's role in Russia's drone warfare is far deeper and far more direct than Beijing is willing to admit. And as the war in Ukraine drags on, drones are not just weapons. They are game changers. China may well be shaping that game.
To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.